So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.
Disruption Networks. Easy Radio. Disruption Networks.
All right. So listen here, guys. The first thing you are all going to notice is that I am not Z. This is your boy Rich Masucci, the Mason Jar himself, taking over Disruption Network for one day. This is like the one day annually that I get to come in here and play jazz with everything. If you will. So yeah, good stuff. And a big shout out to Z. He had to work today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he had to work down the Stanley Theater, and he knew that we were still trying to promote this Animals Endgame show.
Yeah.
And of course, he was good enough to say, just go in there and see what you can do. So yeah, here I am, and we're going to try to stumble through this. Obviously, I host a couple shows that are already on here. We do All Pucked Up. We do the 3 and Out, the football show. And I'm no stranger to doing the podcast, but I've never actually been behind the controls for EC Radio, and everything's set up just a little bit different. So I'm stumbling my way through it, and hopefully everybody is very kind and takes my my screw ups today, and just don't worry about that. Of course, my guest today I'll bring in here is Mr. John Treen from the Swan Humane Society. Thank you so much for coming down here. Obviously, it means a lot right now.
Yeah.
We're trying to promote everything, and I know your schedule is just insane right now.
I'd love to come down. Thanks for having me.
Yeah. I actually reached out to you to several days ago, and I was like, John, you got to help us out, man. I know it's going to be the day after Christmas, and I'm sure you had like adoptions and everything out, like going like crazy.
Yeah, we've been really busy the last couple of weeks, like insanely busy that I can't even think straight about it. But I mean, it's good. It's good to get that foot traffic and for people to see what we have. You know, as more people home for the holidays, as more people thinking about adopting, it really is a good thing and a good time of year for us up there.
I figured that, and I remember when I called you yesterday, you're like, I'm swamped. I'm absolutely swamped. Like, that's not a bad thing, man. That's not a bad thing at all. John, as you know, we've been doing this show. This is going to be our 12th year. I should say this is our 12th year because we already did like a portion of this show earlier. We did it in September. And just to kind of catch people up to speed where we're at with it, we did that benefit. We had like 26 bands, I think it was, something like that.
Something like that.
It was a big number.
It was a big number.
And in the middle of it, the skies opened up.
Yeah.
It started pouring on us. And next thing I know, we had to cancel some bands.
Yeah.
And we never want to do that. We ended up having to cancel that night, falling from one.
Yep.
Who's been along for the ride for years with us. And I can't tell you, man, I felt horrible about doing that. In going up to those guys after they had unloaded their gear and it was sitting in the bar waiting to go and saying, well, so I appreciate everything you've done, but you're not going to be playing tonight. We just knew we had to.
It was bad. It was pouring.
I'm going to be very honest. I couldn't believe that the amount of people that were there
I know.
actually stayed.
Yeah.
There was people dancing in the rain. It looked like Woodstockers.
Yeah.
It was really crazy. But yeah, their tent, it was so waterlogged. It was filling up the canvas, the tarp.
Yeah, I remember
was
that.
filling with water. And I remember telling them, I'm like, we have to consider safety. That's not safe.
No.
That looks like it's about to cave in on your head. So let's cancel you. But at that time, we told them, we're going to try to do something special. We're going to try to make up this show, of course, and at the same time, we'd like to try to get a few of the bands that have been mainstays with us, and put them back in the mix. Even some of the bands that aren't really together anymore.
Yeah.
And so here we are. We busted all these guys out of hock, and we got them to say yes to this show, the Animals Endgame show, going on tomorrow night at 12 North Sports Bar. Starts at 8 o'clock. Doors open at 7:30. $10 at the door get you in, and it's 6 bands. Those bands are 9 Ball, Falling from One, Enemy Down, Dark Passenger, Autumn Fire, and of course Z's band, he'll be there too at that time, and that's Brass Knuckle Intercourse. It's just a stacked lineup from top to bottom, and I can't wait to get it going.
Yeah.
And over the years, you and I, we've been a great team.
Yeah.
We've raised some nice cash for the shelter. I'm going to be honest, I forget how much money we actually have raised. I keep saying it's around 70.
It's gotta be. I mean, it's gotta be.
Yeah,
it's gotta be. It's been a long time. I feel like every year there's bands. We're here. We're there. It's gotta be. It's gotta be over that.
Yeah. And people do donations online too that we don't even see.
Yeah.
I saw a couple nice ones coming in.
Yeah.
Today. A good friend of the show, Brooke Baker, who is always very generous, and she was out there shelling it out for Christmas.
Yeah.
And like, oh, Brookie, you're killing me. Yeah, she's just good people, very good people.
Yeah.
So I don't really know, but tell us about some of the things that are going on at the shelter that when people make these donations that their money goes to.
Sure. So there's a lot that goes into this. I mean, the biggest thing and the most important thing I say all the time, when you donate to Stephen Swan Humane Society, it goes back to Stephen Swan Humane Society. It doesn't go anywhere else. It goes into literally everything in keeping that building open and up and running. That be it veterinary bills for the animals, their vaccines, their spay, their neuter, their food, the water, turning the lights on, helping get staff in there to take care of these animals. We're running like 240 cats and probably about 75, 80 dogs right now.
Wow.
So we are stacked on animals. We've been busy, but it's also been busy on the other side too with them coming in. So it's expensive. I mean, it's a very expensive game to play. I mean, we get anywhere from like 2,000 to 2,500 animals a year. And you're talking, we give them top of the line medical care, they're microchipped, they're spayed, they're neutered, they get dentals if they need dentals. If something's wrong, when they go to specialists, I mean, you're looking around $1 million a year within a budget just to keep that building open. I mean, it's a lot. It's a lot.
And you guys don't get any assistance from the state or anything?
We're a nonprofit organization. No assistance from the state, the government, the county, anything at this point in time. I mean, we survive on events like this, so come out and support the bands and come out and support the animals this weekend. It's going to be tomorrow night. Things like this are what have kept us open, and we've been open for 109 years now. So
109, really?
Yeah.
I always tell people, man, this is, I think you guys are literally the only shelter in Utica. And there's only like 2 or 3 in the
immediate area. Yeah, there's a lot of rescues, but we're the only 501c3 shelter in Utica. There's a couple in the immediate area around us here within 20 minutes to a half an hour, but there's a lot of rescues, but nobody really deals with the volume that we see until you get out closer to like Albany and Syracuse way. Nobody sees that volume. I mean, it's insane.
And I think that's important for people to keep in mind, because a lot of people, they're always asking Erica and myself, you guys are doing another benefit? And I said, well, listen, it's great that we raise the money we do, but there's, you guys get dumped on for everything, whether it be stray animals, whether it be neglect cases, whether it's abuse, whatever. If there's a stray dog that you find that's in bad condition, they bring that dog up to you.
Right, and you've got to think about it, and people don't think about it in the sense that if you have pets, think about what you pay when you go to the vet for just basic vet care. We're not paying any different.
Right.
There's nothing free coming to us. We're not paying any different. So we're paying the price you're paying to do that same stuff to 2,000 animals a year.
Right.
So,
right. And something I have to say, because there's always people out there that say, well, I'm not supporting a shelter. They put all their dogs to sleep. Since I've been working with you guys, which is, like I said, 12 years now, you guys are like almost strictly a no-kill shelter.
We are. And we've chose to go that way. And that's part of why sometimes we're so full, because we think that every animal deserves a chance and every animal deserves a home. This dog might not like other dogs or cats, but he can live in a house without other animals. Or this one might not like kids, but a single person comes in and this is a perfect fit for them. There is a perfect fit for every person. It just takes time.
Right.
It takes time to find those people to come in. You can only adopt so many at one period of time. So if I get 200 kittens in, I know they're not all going to go right away. So, okay, maybe 50 of them go, and then in a few months, somebody else comes in and wants some more.
Yeah.
So, it takes time.
And of course, for anybody who would say, oh, well, I know they put animals to sleep. It's literally under almost like the last resort condition.
Pretty much. If the animal's suffering and dying, we're not going to make it suffer. We're not going to extend its life to make it suffer, or it's so aggressive that we safely cannot handle that animal, then we can't put it back out into the public. This is what we do day in and day out. My guys are trained to handle these animals. I'm trained to handle these animals. If we can't do it, and that's like after a long period of time of trying, it's not like, oh, you just came in today and then tomorrow, it's not going to work.
Yeah,
we spend the time to work with these guys, and if after a long period of time, we make that decision that, I don't know about this.
Yeah, and that's the other good thing I should say about you guys is your staff they're very well trained. They're all animal lovers up there. Everybody takes the time, and they're very hands-on with the animals.
We are, and all of us have like way too many animals, so that we care because we're just like, oh, this one's kind of dysfunctional. I'll take it home.
I love that when I go in there and there's like cats everywhere. They're just kind of roaming around, and there's dogs behind the counter. Everybody's jumping all over the place. It's for a person like me, that's in those moments I can walk in there and I go, I know we're doing the right thing.
Right.
I know we're giving to the right organization. They're not just, without going into some other places around here, they're not taking your money.
No.
And
no.
Happy trails. We'll see you later.
No, it's going back into taking care of those animals. It really is. We don't have a large staff. We should have a lot larger of a staff than what we have to handle what we do. We all do multiple things. You can come in and see me doing anything from a radio interview today to cleaning a kennel to helping people at the front desk.
Yep.
We're literally everywhere taking care of these animals and doing what we can to help them out.
Yeah, you're always on WKTV doing the news talks, and it's great. Of course, we give all the money. Once we raise it here, we usually go on air with you during the telethon.
Yeah.
And do you have a date for the telethon?
It is February 5th.
February 5th.
Yes.
And it's moved around a little bit, right?
It's moved around a little bit. We pushed it back. It used to be in January for everybody that remembers, but January's hard. It is a hard time of the year. It's hard to get people. You just come off the holidays, Christmas and New Year's and everything, and everybody, people are still in the giving spirit, and it's great, but we try to take that off them a little bit,
right,
and push it back another month, so we give people a little bit of time to recuperate from, all the other things that were going on during the holiday season. So we've pushed it back to February last year, and we're doing it again this year in February, and it seemed to work out really well for us, pushing it back just a little bit there. So yeah.
I got to ask you something just personal. I know personally I could never work in a shelter because I would get way too attached to the animal.
Yeah.
There's got to be some favorites that come through there.
Oh, yeah. You definitely have your favorite animals that come in and you hate seeing them leave, but then you're like, it's so good that they're leaving, and then but you can't take them. If you could take them, you would have taken them.
Sure.
I definitely have had dogs come in over the years that were like, these awesome dogs, and I loved them, but they were like super animal aggressive, and I already have dogs, and I'm like, I can't do that to my dogs at home.
Right.
And they finally get adopted, and you're like, oh, I miss them, but it's so good they're out of here.
Yeah.
And then you hit that point where you're like, I have too many animals. I can't get any more animals.
I tell it with Eric all the time. We have our two.
Yeah.
And they're both shepherd hound mixes.
Yeah.
They're a little bit bigger. And
Yeah.
take up the entire bed kind of thing. And then we seen one. I want to say the name was it Knuckles that was just down there.
Knuckles, I don't remember that one.
God, I'm trying to remember the name. I see so many names on the dog.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was a bigger like a coon dog kind
Yep.
of. And I'm like, oh, we got to grab that dog. And, and then Eric is like, absolutely
not.
no.
Yeah.
And for our sake and for the animal's sake,
Right.
don't bring another dog.
And the funny thing is that I'm the voice of reason in my household. My wife would take anything home, and it doesn't matter. So, no, we can just bring it home. And I'm just like, we can't. We have 4 dogs. We have 6 chickens and 9 snakes. No more animals. We're done.
Oh, my Lord. That's, all you need is like an ark.
Yeah, pretty much.
John's ark.
Yeah.
We're always talking, and I don't mean to put you on the spot with this. We're always talking about some of the cases that come in and some of the things you see. And I remember some of the things that you've told me have just kind of shocked the hell out of me. From the one day when I think you said you went into work and there was like a box of puppies.
Oh, that was the Dobermans last year or the year. No, I think it was 2018. They came into the shelter. Somebody had a crate, just not a big crate, a little dog crate with 7 Doberman puppies just in it. They were all malnourished, underweight, small. They just left them in the parking lot. Just dropped them off
overnight.
Overnight, yep. Just pulled in. Took them up, pulled the crate out, dropped them in the parking lot, and that was it.
I just don't understand.
I don't either. I don't get it. I mean, it's all the time, and it's everywhere. Like, call your local shelters. Nobody's really going to turn you away, and if they can't help you today, maybe they can help you tomorrow.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not that immediate that you have to get rid of something if I can help you tomorrow instead of today, you can wait till tomorrow.
Sure.
I mean, unless it's an extreme emergency, and then we're definitely more than willing to work with you. We are reasonable people. We're normal people. We're just like everybody else. We're honest with everyone. We're there to help, and we'll help if we can. So
Sure. I was reading somewhere that one of the shelters out there, they had installed a drop box for animals overnight. And there was a story. The whole concept just went crazy because I think there was like a dog drop box and there was a cat drop box.
Yeah.
And somebody decided to mix it up and they put the cat into the dog drop box, and obviously that
doesn't sound good, no.
But you just start thinking about it, and to me, when I hear a story like that, I'm like, man, it really tells you how lazy some people have become with their animals, that you have to rely on a drop box.
Absolutely.
To bring your animal back to the shelter.
I don't know if they're like ashamed or they're just lazy and they don't want to do it. And it's the same thing every day when the animals that we get in, I'm moving. Oh, I don't want to take care of it anymore. And it's like, that's not an excuse. You took this animal and it's a responsibility, and you should see that responsibility through, not put it on somebody else or another organization to take care of what you should have been taking care of.
Right. And from dealing with a lot of rescues, I've noticed that when people have these problems with their animals, they're getting older, they have veterinary care that needs to be paid for, all of a sudden they don't want the dog anymore, and let's go drop it off on the shelter. Absolutely.
All the time. How old is it? 15, 20 years old, and I'm like, and you want to turn it into a shelter? Like, really? Like, you've had this animal all this time and today you just don't want it? Seriously?
We got the doctor bill and now we don't want it.
Yeah.
It's just such a cop-out way in my eyes of just...
Absolutely. I absolutely agree. And it's a responsibility. People need to take responsibility for what they have in their actions with this. I mean, we're not the Salvation Army. You can't just give us your unwanted animals. Like, you do need to take responsibility for that at some point in time. We understand emergencies happen. Things happen in your life where I can't care for this animal, and I know you guys are the right people to give it to. Other things are not. There's a lot of things that are not. Like, most of the things that come to the shelter are not okay. Like, and you're nice and you're polite about it, but it's like, I would literally build a cabin in the woods before getting rid of any of my animals.
Absolutely.
I would just go off the grid. I'd be like, oh, I can't afford anything. It's all right. We'll hunt and fish. We'll go live in the woods.
I'll eat bark.
Yeah.
And that's the other thing that I I can't stand seeing is when they turn these dogs in, and you say to yourself like, the responsibility isn't there, the ownership isn't there. It's a very throwaway society.
It is. It's
that we live
crazy.
in. From possessions that we own. I mean, you get a computer these days that stops working, throw it out, go get it.
Yeah.
You don't you have a friend that you haven't talked to in a couple months. To hell with them. I'll just go find a new friend. It's so weird. And as I look at the animals that come in, you hit it right on the head. People need to take responsibility.
Yeah.
These aren't like. This isn't like a VCR or something you would have had 20 years ago. Like, I'm done with it, and now it's you guys find something, give us the goodwill, and find a home for it.
Right.
It doesn't work that way.
No, and it shouldn't work like that. And
No.
that does. It says something about society right now. That says something about people. Like, that if you can't handle it, then you should have never had it to begin with.
Yeah, I feel really bad. Somebody's actually asking if they can call in to talk about this, and I got to be honest with you. Like I said, I'm filling in for the day. I don't even know how to run the phones in this place. I wish I did. I do apologize, but I do see your comments up there, and if you want to put them on there, I will be sure to read them as we go along. I know, I suck. Anyways. He didn't want to stick around. Okay, anyways. So, John, we got something new this year that I'm actually very excited to talk about. In the years past, we've done raffles. And I know a lot of people dig on the raffles. They kind of go and they buy the tickets and they throw it in there.
Yeah.
This year, we're kind of stealing an idea from Z.
Yeah.
They do the Trip Fest every year.
Yep.
And they do the garage sale that is right there. And I think we're going to do something similar this year.
Sweet.
We're going to break out a lot of the things. A lot of people know that I am I'm probably a pack rat, hoarder, whatever you want to call it. But a lot of old collectible stuff.
Cool.
And some of the people who are my friends and I hang out with and talk with, they're the same, birds of a feather, hang together kind of thing. And they're all collectible collectors, hoarders, whatever. And some of my friends have come through and they've put together different things. We didn't want to just, some of these places when you see them do benefits or whatever else, they call the typical like, oh, we got Etsy coming out or we got like Avon or something. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
But that's not really our crowd.
No.
And so we wanted to try doing something a little bit different. And so there's a lot of collectibles that we're putting out there for sale. I know I was mentioning to you earlier, we had some UC things that we're going to put out. And your wife is a UC
Yeah, my wife collects a lot of Utica Club stuff. Yeah.
Really?
A lot.
So we've got different things we're going to put out. I don't even know if people can see on the where's my camera? There we go. Like a Utica Club trays we've got that we're going to be selling. There's again, a lot of this stuff is like antique dealers. Like if you were ever to go up to Bouckville and during the antique days, you kind of walk through the tables.
Nice.
Things like that. There's like what do we got here? There's like a what is that? Pabst Blue Ribbon? I think it is like a Pabst.
Yeah, it looks like Pabst Blue Ribbon.
Yeah, 1776 bicentennial. So that was kind of cool. Ballantine. I think I'm saying that right. Ballantine. That's a nice tray. Blow them out the door for like $12. And I know some people are going to go $12 at a thing, but you know what? Normally, if you were to go online, you would find some of this stuff for like $15, $20 either.
Oh, absolutely.
And we're just we're figuring, hey, if we can make a couple more bucks off of it for the shelter, outstanding. There's a really nice tray here, let me try this way. Yeah, like a Utica Club cream ale. Very nice tray. It's all, nice, shiny, whatever. I don't collect the trays. I'm not going to sit here and try to sell you on them. But there's some really nice things. And let me see if I can reach this real quick. I'm probably going to yank all the cables out. Hold on one second. Oh, stay with me. Okay, I promise I'm still here. We had one of our friends, Gus. I think you know Gus, right? Tim Edwards.
Think so.
Yeah, big guy, works at the Varick.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he had something that we thought was really cool, and he asked us if we wanted to maybe take it and auction it off. It's they're empty bottles. I know there's a big market for these like old collectible bottles. The season's best bottles from Utica Club Saranac. and I think it's every single bottle from like 1983.
Wow.
So I mean, there's like 1983, 1984, all the way up. This is a 1994 I'm holding, 1992. There's a ton of them, and actually, these are the empty ones. He gave us a box of closed, filled bottles as well, along with the box. So, kind of a neat little collectible if anybody's out there and into that kind of thing. We had Mark Zyla, who's a very good friend of ours. He does Blue Eyes Collectibles. He kind of runs one of the stands up in Bulkville.
Nice.
And he gave us a lot of things like for comic book collectors.
Cool.
Some of the old like Silver Age, like Battlestar Galactica.
Nice.
The entire collection of them.
Oh, wow.
That, and I think there's some Conan the Barbarian stuff. It's all over the board. There's a lot of NASCAR things. If we got NASCAR fans out there, maybe some people can come up, and we priced it to move.
Nice.
We really did. I think whenever we looked online, we kind of saw what it was going for on eBay or any of those sites, and we trimmed off at least half.
Nice.
So hopefully that stuff can move.
Yeah.
And certainly we're hoping that some people out there are interested. I know the Christmas money probably just rolled in for some people.
Yeah.
Come on up and make a sale with us, and and we're willing to haggle too. If you see something up there and you say, $20, I don't quite have $20. I've got 17. I might take it.
Yeah.
We're looking to make money for you guys up at the shelter, and we'll do anything we can to make that happen. My phone is blowing up over there. Crazy. Oh yeah. So anyways, I got to tell you a very unique experience. And it's kind of a funny story. People always ask me, how did you get into doing with the animals and stuff? Two things. First of all, Animal for Animals was started for Rick Animal Morehouse. And Rick was my stepfather. My mother has had more husbands than, Zsa Zsa Gabor. She's literally like Yehuda's answer to Zsa Zsa Gabor. And I think it was like her fourth husband, third? I don't know. One in the long string it was Rick. And Rick was kind of like this. I can only describe him as burly. Believe me, I'm not trying to say burly is like degrading. He was very loved.
Yeah.
But he had this big beard.
Yep.
He used to go to all the rock shows.
Nice.
Was a huge fan of like The Bomb.
Cool.
And used to go to all the Saranac shows. Used to love to drink, used to love to smoke and party and everything, which probably didn't help what ultimately took him out, which was he got pancreatic cancer.
Oh, geez.
And, at the time, we thought that, man, the right thing to do for him would be to start a benefit. And when we did that, we set this benefit up. We raised some money. Our first one, it was a very small show. We did it right over at, I believe it was called The Venue on Whitesboro Street. Was like, I think the Wagon Wheel at one point.
I have no clue.
Champs Bar for a little.
Yeah, I remember Champs.
Yep.
Yeah,
it's been like a million things over the years. I think it's Harley's now.
Yep.
But we did our first benefit over there. It was really, really small. I think we raised like $500 or $600, something like that. And we gave it to him. We're like, hey, help yourself. Put it towards your bills. And he went, quite honestly, I think he was kind of like a realist.
Yeah.
He's like, there's not a great prognosis with pancreatic cancer, unfortunately. And that being the case, why don't you take the money and put it towards like the greater good, something that maybe they can use it for more than I could.
Yeah.
And so he turned around. He gave all that money to Stephen Swan. At the time, Jerry Krause was up there.
Yep.
And, and Jerry, we were working with Jerry, a very good friend of ours, obviously. And he said, it was such a good turnout. We had such a great time. You guys should think about maybe doing it like an annual event.
Yeah.
And of course, Animal Rick, he was right on board. He didn't make it to see that second one. He passed away just right before we did it. But of course, and I always tell the story. We've kind of carried that benefit on in his honor all this time. So that was one of our introductions into doing the benefit here with you guys. The other that a lot of people don't know about is when I was a young kid, I wanted to be a veterinarian.
Oh, cool.
As it turns out, not so great of a decision. I went to Florida. I lived in Florida for a little while.
Yep.
And I was down there, and I thought, well, let me go to like SeaWorld or something like that. That'd be a good place to really go and volunteer and cut my chops or whatever. And And I went there, and turns out they didn't want a guy like me. They're like, you have no experience whatsoever? You want to be like a volunteer here? You should try like a local zoo or something like that, like a small zoo. I went back up here to New York, and I volunteered over at the Utica Zoo.
Nice.
The first place they put me was the petting zoo. And so every morning at like 5 o'clock in the morning, they would have me come in there. And what did I do? I cleaned up shit.
Yep.
I cleaned up shit in the petting zoo, like the llamas and the donkey and all these other things. And my first real chance to be part of the action, they had two things. They have the lemurs up there.
Yeah.
And they said, we need somebody to help us give the shots. I think it was like they were testing something that they had, and they needed to see a reaction. The only place that they could get that reaction and see it, the eyelid.
Wow.
Because it's the only place on them that doesn't have fur. So they would inject it into the eyelid and wait for the reaction. And so I'm holding down this lemur that's like massively powerful.
Yeah, it's crazy how strong those little guys are.
They're nuts.
Yeah.
They're like freaks.
Yeah.
And I was getting like tossed around by this monkey, and I was like, wow, this is not what I thought it would be. And then they said to me, well, how about you go down? We've got a case. It was Dr. She was also the doctor for you guys, the vet. She worked over at Burstone Animal Hospital for the
Dr. Dempson, Dr. Hilton.
Dr. Hilton.
Dr.
Yes,
Hilton.
I believe it was Dr. Hilton that was at there at the time. And she said, I walked into the office over there, and they said, well, we're going to take a temperature on this animal that's not feeling well. It was a parrot.
Oh.
And I said, okay, well, how do you go about giving, do you put the thermometer in its mouth? And she looked at me and she went,
No. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
Yeah, put it in his ass.
Yeah. Yeah.
So she held down the bird, and I had to put the thermometer in there. And when I did it, the bird looked up at me and went, that was it, man. I realized right then, like, this career path is just not right for me. I do much better, like, donating money and things like that.
We appreciate it.
So there's my introduction into animals. How did you? There is a purpose for me telling.
Oh yeah.
How did you get into doing this?
Oh man, I have always loved animals, and you hear so many people say that, but I have always loved animals. I have always had animals, had multiple animals. God bless my parents, because I mean we had like ducks and horses and dogs and cats and ferrets and birds, and I mean I had piranhas at one point in time in my life. Like I've had crazy things, and they just put up with it. They were just like, yeah, it's John. That's what he likes.
Were you one of those kids bringing home like frogs in your?
Oh,
pocket?
dude, crazy stuff. I used to like catch snakes outside and all sorts of crazy stuff. And that's what I was into. I went to school. I studied biology and animal sciences. I too wanted to be a vet, and then I was like, nah, I don't want to do this. This is way too much.
Yeah.
So I ended up with like biology, animal science. Finished out. I actually went to school, college out of state, and I went to Tennessee, Florida,
okay,
Tennessee. Yep. Come back to New York. To my family's here, so I came back to New York. Job opened at the Humane Society. I took the job, and I've been there for 10 years now. So,
wow.
Yeah.
You guys, I tell you, man, you do a hell of a job up
Thank
there,
you.
and we're always talking about heroes in our community, and I really do look at you guys as heroes.
We appreciate it because we try. We try to do what we can to help out where we can.
Yeah, every year, having had worked in the film industry, I did for a little while, and it always bothered me that you see all these people that are making a lot of money doing like acting and singing and everything else. I don't want to say they're easy jobs, but they're kind of easy jobs.
Yeah.
And at the end of the year, like January, everybody gets awards. They bring everybody up there, and it's gowns and balls and everything else, and they get these gift bags, and it's such a big thing for these people. And then I'll turn around and I'll go, wow, you know who we don't salute every day that we really should? The everyday heroes.
Absolutely.
Whether
Absolutely.
they be police officers,
There's firemen.
firefighters,
Absolutely.
lawyers, or doctors rather, or people like yourself who are out there doing animal welfare and doing a valuable service for a community, which is making sure that these stray dogs and cats have a home to go to. And working to rehab them and everything. It's phenomenal, man. I really do. I wish somebody out there, I don't know who's listening, but somebody out there, please start a local award show, and let's start really focusing on some people that make a difference in this community.
Yeah,
So
definitely.
it would be outstanding. What's some future plans going on for the shelter right now? Anything?
Oh yeah, we've got a couple of things in the works right now. So we just got the companion animal grant through New York State, which means we are doing a big expansion up at the shelter. So we've been going crazy with all that stuff too. We're going to be expanding our medical facilities, our holding facilities, and a couple other things that kind of tie into holding and recovery and stuff. So the building was built in '86, and it's dated.
Right.
I mean, it's dated, and we're a nonprofit. Medical stuff is crazy expensive.
Absolutely.
So we ended up getting about a $500,000 from the state through the grant to go through and revamp part of that facility, and we've been doing that slowly. And if you pay attention to where we are and what we do, our cat cages became cat rooms.
Oh yeah.
Yep. Our dog kennels. We got brand new dog kennels in the dog adoption room through the fur wall, and now we're working on the medical facility. We're going to be putting in a couple of medical suites. We're going to be expanding kennel space a little bit, not a lot. Just we're trying to make the flow better.
Yeah.
Because it does make a big deal between sick animals and animals out of surgery and animals going through here and going through there. You try to minimize traffic of certain things in certain places, and it's kind of tough right now the way the building works. So we're changing that flow a little bit, and we're getting some nice new equipment in, and hopefully we'll be able to do some more outreach for the public. Right now we've been doing a low cost income qualifying spay and neuter clinic for Oneida County residents. We just had to kind of shut that down with the revamp and everything. With the new structures coming in, we can't really do too much with that until this is done. But hopefully we'll be able to do more because we'll have 2 surgical suites, so we can have 2 doctors at the same time doing it, and we can do some more outreach to help people out who want to keep their animals, but they can't maybe afford to get them spayed or neutered or something like that.
That's great.
Yeah.
And I know you do that, the rabies clinic.
Yeah, we do the rabies clinic. Rabies clinic will pick up in April again. We close that during the winter time because it's kind of tough to do it with the snow and the cold and everything, and everybody's back and forth. But we'll pick that up probably again in April. That's $10. We do rabies clinics, and it's pretty much from like April to the first week of November.
Yeah.
We do $10 rabies shots on Mondays, and we're trying to do as much as we can to help out. If you need something, call. I mean, if we can't do it, we can absolutely direct you as to who can help you in your area.
I know I call you guys all the time. You specifically.
Yeah.
Like, what do I do with this? Where do I send this? 'Cause, kind of going back a little bit, you mentioned the cat room. That's pretty wild. Was it Northern Safety?
Northern Safety did both of the rooms. Yeah. Northern Safety donated some money to have those revamped. So they used to be one big room, and there were cages just lined up in this room, and all these cats were in these cages. And we're like, well, this doesn't work. Cats are funny. So they can get sick from like stress. Just stress will make a cat like sick and ill and everything. And putting a cat in a kennel will stress it out. So there was all this research on opening up like cat colony rooms so that they can go run around and do what they want to do. And we're like, why don't we go this route? So we went that route, and it works. It really does. I mean, it not only cuts down on the stress and the sickness of the animal, it helps with cleaning too. You're not cleaning, 52 individual cages.
Right.
You're mopping a floor and wiping down a windowsill. It's so much less stressful, not only for the cats, but for the people in there taking care of the cats.
Yeah, I can only imagine that must have been a process. Like, take the cat out,
Oh,
clean the
God.
cage out.
Yes.
Yeah, that's got to be a pain in the rear. And the other thing I wanted to mention too is you have the outside area. I noticed you had that paved a couple. Was it last year? 2 years ago? 3 years ago?
The outside kennels. I think it's been 6 years.
Has it really been that?
It might even be longer than that.
I've been in a time warp for but
How long has Jerry been gone?
oh man, yeah, it's been a little while then.
So it was Jerry was just leaving, I believe, when we started to pave those.
It's either way. It's a great upgrade.
Oh, absolutely. And we you have to do a little bit of a time at a time. We just had a brand new roof put on. You have to maintain everything. And that's another thing people, they don't think about it, is that everything has to be maintained just like your house. You have to upgrade electrical, you have to new roof, every so often you have to repave your parking lot. You have to do these things to keep a facility like this running.
Yeah.
So
just a couple more things, then I'm going to let you break out of here and get on with your busy life, because I know you're we're taking up a lot of time, and I don't mean to today.
That's fine.
Staff Works.
Yeah.
We really do need to mention Staff Works because not only, we were kind of alluding to the benefit earlier on, they do a lot for you guys. And I think they have like a pretty good promotion going on. Right?
They do. Staff Works is great. Anita Vitullo is awesome. They always come out and they support us in everything we do. But they do a campaign this time of year. It starts December 1st and ends at the end of the month. They match a donation. So up to $10,000, you donate $20, it's going to be $40. After we've made that $10,000, every $5,000 after that, they'll give us another $1,000. And then if we get the most donors, we can get another $10,000. And if we get the most donations, we get another $10,000.
Wow.
So you can do a lot. And this is one company out there making a difference. And it's not just to us. I think there's like 19 other organizations that are part of this that she's doing it for, that Staffworks does it. It's crazy. I mean, she's one of the only larger companies out there really stepping up to help.
That's amazing because I know Staffworks is like a decent sized company.
It's a big company. I mean, it's a decent sized company, yeah.
But there's bigger companies.
There are bigger companies. There are a lot bigger companies that could, they can see this, make a donation to the Staffworks Fund, help the animals out.
So today, if like one of these banks out here, and I hate to say these banks like it's a bad thing, but if one of these banks out here who is going to potentially donate $500 for the upcoming telethon, would it be worth their while to maybe donate that right now and put it through Staffworks?
Yes and no. Two separate things.
Okay.
The Staffworks Fund. Obviously, the money is needed, and either way, we're happy. We're happy for the donation.
Sure.
But two different things. I mean, if you're looking for the recognition of the telethon and all this, then it's going to be different than the Staffworks Save a Life campaign because they're going to be totally, completely different things.
Yeah.
They're still going to the same place and they're still doing the same thing, but it's going to be a different kind of feel. Like, we talked about, you guys always come on telethon and we present the check, and all that fun stuff. This is more of like, this is a good thing to do to help the animals out. You're really helping the animals out.
Under the radar.
Under the radar. You don't want people to know that you're making the donation, but you really want to help out. You don't want the recognition. You just slide it on in there. That's
an interesting thing for a person like me because we're talking this benefit. We're going to try. I say try. We're getting up there to donate the most we on, which I believe so far is like 6,500. We did one year, and I was thinking if we can top that and get to like 7, boy, it would be wonderful to be able to double that money.
That would be great.
But again, that takes us out of the benefit, and I don't know how everybody's going to feel about that. I know they do like to go on and that whole thing. We'll have to discuss that.
Yeah,
that's a conversation for a different day. But at any rate, if there's anybody out there, certainly businesses, anybody that might be listening, just realize that your money is definitely needed. This is an outstanding way to double it and make it, make a real difference. It's just amazing. Somebody going to donate $500, all of a sudden it's $1,000.
Right. That's crazy. A big deal.
Yeah. And for some of the businesses out there, please, when you see somebody like Staffworks going to bat and doing that big of a thing.
And it's big. I mean, 19 organizations, that's big.
Yeah, that is, man. So that's a little challenge I will issue to anybody out there. Please step up to the plate and do what is right and help this community, help the Stephen Swan Humane Society and make this really happen. So, John, on that, I think we're going to probably, it's already almost 3 o'clock.
Okay.
You're like, how did that pass? This guy across from me, he won't shut up. But I appreciate your time and everything.
Of course, anytime.
And again, we'll kind of rehash it. Anybody who wants to come out, 6 bands tomorrow night. We start at 8 o'clock. Doors open at 7:30. It's the Animal for Animals Endgame show is what we're calling it. 9-ball kicks off the night right at 8 o'clock, followed by Falling from One, then Enemy Down, Dark Passenger, Autumn Fire, and it rounds out the night here with Brass Knuckle Intercourse. And it's all for a good cause. All the money raised, right to charity. And Don't forget, we also have the sale, the little garage sale that we're going to be doing. We're going to try that out. So if you've got a couple extra shekels from Christmas you're not going to miss, bring it up there and help us make a little bit extra money. So, John, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
Everything today.
Of course.
And maybe very soon. It's not my show. I can't tell you to come back soon, but I'm sure Z would love having you out
definitely.
there. And let me just look at this thing. I don't even know how to wrap out this show. We're just going to say goodbye, right? I wish I had Z or Dot here to help me. Nobody's here. Anyways, I think that's going to do it for us. So, all right, check in with Z. He'll be back tomorrow. Peace, everybody, and hopefully we see you at that show. See us.
So you just bought your dream home, and now it's time to move. Let's face it, nobody likes to move. All the packing, unpacking, lifting, upstairs, downstairs, and broking everything, including your back. Let the professionals at EJA Moving Company take all the stress and pain out of your move. Competitively priced moving, relocation services, office moves, and complete packing and unpacking services. They work with everybody to make it simple and easy for you to move and relocate. Call EJA Moving Company at 315-335-0516. When it's time to relocate, have EJA Moving do all the work for you. Hit them up online, ejamoving.com.
Hey, Disruption Network. This is Mike Sacco, the general manager at Nye Volkswagen of Rome. If you don't know me by name, it's only because you have not received the best deal. There's only one reason to leave Utica, and that's to come see me in Rome and get the best deal on your next new, pre-owned, or certified VW. Mention that you heard this ad from Disruption Network and receive $250 off your next vehicle purchase. You'll know why our customers say, I love my Nye VW. Come see us at 5865 Rome Taberg Road in Rome, or visit us online at nyvwofrome.com.
Want to know what's going on at the D? Hit up DisruptionNetwork.net and check out our events calendar, brought to you by the Events Co. Find out about upcoming guests, special events, concerts, show schedules, community activities, and more. Get connected at DisruptionNetwork.net.